If you consider yourself a true fan of Hollywood movies, then you definitely wouldn't want to miss out on this one. When you sit down to watch it, you'll be fully engaged, with your phone set aside and your full attention on the screen. This movie is one that you really want to experience. By the time the credits roll, you'll have the killer's monologue memorized word for word. Stick to your plan. Anticipate. Don't improvise. Trust no one. Never give up an advantage. Only fight the battles you're paid to fight. Avoid empathy. Empathy is a weakness. Weakness is vulnerability. Ask yourself, what's in it for me? That last question will linger in your mind long after the movie ends. Unfortunately, the answer is not much. The Killer is David Fincher's 12th film, and he is known for his precise and meticulous filmmaking style. His movies are always finely tuned, with a distinct visual aesthetic that has become synonymous with his name. His latest film is no different. Every shot in The Killer is perfectly composed, and the editing is exhilarating. The cuts in this film will leave you feeling a rush. If you have an appreciation for the art of film editing, you'll find something to admire in almost every scene. Technically speaking, this film is a masterpiece. While that is to be expected from Fincher, it's a breath of fresh air considering the lackluster quality of many Netflix originals. There is a clear sense of purpose behind every scene in The Killer. However, technique alone is not enough, and it seems that the filmmakers overlooked this fact. They set themselves a monumental challenge with this project. Can they create a film that is so visually captivating that the audience forgets about its mundane and soulless nature? Well, unfortunately, they didn't quite succeed this time. Michael Fassbender takes on the role of the titular hitman in this film. He has a love for the Smiths songs and enjoys monologuing while waiting for his targets. When a job goes wrong, he finds himself on the run, pursuing the fellow outlaws who underestimated him. If you think the plot sounds straightforward, you're absolutely right. There are no surprises here. The screenplay is based on a French graphic novel by Alexis Nolent and Luc Jacamon, and it seems to be one of the most generic hitman comics ever written. If you expect any twists or turns, think again. The lack of narrative tension isn't the only problem with this film. A movie filled with clichés can still be enjoyable if executed well. However, the biggest issue with The Killer is the lack of interesting characters. The supporting cast, including Tilda Swinton, Charles Parnell, and Sala Baker, failed to make an impact. Although Swinton does manage to leave a mark with her small role, Fassbender is the main attraction, and his performance is dedicated. The killer's observations about assassination and the world around him are intriguing and occasionally humorous in their detached cynicism. But here's the catch. The voiceover is the only glimpse we get into his character. Everything else about him remains impenetrable and distant. Fassbender hardly lets any emotion show through his stoic expression. As a result, we are left with a protagonist who is an enigma, and the script never attempts to unravel him. He's a dull psychopath with no redeeming qualities. So why should we care about him or what happens to him? That's the fundamental flaw at the core of The Killer, making it one of the most well-crafted yet mediocre narratives this critic has ever encountered. Fincher really knows how to keep things exciting. This movie is packed with thrilling moments that are like little gems of cinematic brilliance. Even if you are not invested in the outcome, these scenes will still captivate you. Take, for example, a seemingly mundane scene where the killer has to wait for a delivery man to leave before he can prevent a door from closing. Or another scene where the killer has to clone a keycard at a gym. These may not sound like much on paper, but Fincher's attention to detail and precision make every moment count. And it's not just the small moments that shine. There are a couple of major set pieces that will leave you on the edge of your seat. The opening assassination is intense, and there's a second act fistfight that is truly thrilling. What's interesting is the sound design in the latter scene. The characters move silently, which is a bold choice in a time where every sound effect is emphasized. It adds a unique touch to the film. The pacing of the movie is perfect for those with short attention spans. Shots are quick, rarely lasting more than a few seconds. This keeps the story moving even when the script loses its focus. However, There are a couple of aspects that stand out in a negative way. Firstly, the killer's relationship with a character played by Sophie Charlotte is a central theme, but it's presented in a sloppy manner. We hardly see the character who supposedly started it all, and their relationship is never fully developed. It feels like a missed opportunity. Secondly, the product placement in the movie is quite blatant and frequent. It's a bit jarring and takes away from the immersive experience that the filmmakers worked so hard to create. It's puzzling why they would resort to this, especially when Netflix funded the film. It's a shame, really. Fincher wraps up the movie with a disappointingly lackluster conclusion, leaving the audience feeling unsatisfied after a strange confrontation that lacks any real tension. I'm not exactly sure what initially motivated him to take on this project, but he has definitely fallen short of the goal he set for himself. Following the misguided passion project that was 𝐀𝐿, it seems like Netflix handed him a project that was more for their benefit than his. He clearly accepted the challenge, but he has pushed the boundaries too much, similar to his detached main character at the start of the film. Thanks for watching. Support incynema by clicking subscribe, like this video, and leave your opinion in the comment section. Bye.